Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. In this video, we're going to be discussing and showing that the Salafis believe God has a limb. You might have heard the popular Salafis, or many of them, try to avoid this. Try to say he's not a limb, or we affirm hand but not limb, or such similar statements. I want to show you what they're actually saying, or what their position really entails. Okay, that's what we're going to get into today. So before that, let's just get into it. Okay, so this is the first argument. I have just two arguments. Okay, the first one is that when you say you affirm hand but you don't affirm a limb, but a hand is a limb. Okay, now you affirm hand by saying hand not like ours. Okay, that's how you affirm hand. You say hand not like ours. You should affirm limb as well like that. Or at most. Okay, here the first argument is not the strong one, okay? It's always the second one. You know me. You know this Adam Hadith. They shouldn't have done that. I feel like Salafis, they made a huge mistake taking that Hadith literally, because it just blows everything out of the water. There is no way out for it. It's just clear cut. But anyway, before we get there, I want to show you the first part of the argument. The usual thing they used to say when they affirm hand, eyes, and all those things is that it's not like ours. Okay, not like that of creation. And they have many other, in the sophisticated works of Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, they have many other ways of defending any such ascription. Now the problem is this: there's nothing wrong with the limb. There's no apparent meaning to, remember, there's no apparent meaning to anything. So if you say hand, it doesn't actually have any apparent meaning that is problematic. There shouldn't be any apparent meaning of limb that is problematic too. That's what I'm trying to show you. A limb shouldn't be problematic to ascribe, other than the word, or God has not said it explicitly that I have a limb, but God never said I have a hand. But anyway, that's another argument. The point I'm showing is that you can just say limb not like ours and you'll be fine. So if God had mentioned limb, they would have ascribed limb also. So I'm trying to show you that they have no problem with limb itself. They can ascribe anything, remember, because they will just say they will use the same defense that they use for hand for anything: limb, blood, flesh, bone. I've made a video in another video. But the thing is that they have to they deny it. This is the problem. Some of them deny it. They say not a limb. They say this. You will find some of them saying this. They actually deny limb. They will say we affirm hand but not limb. They cannot add that part to it, because who asked you to deny limb? You shouldn't have denied it. You have to remain agnostic at least. You have to say, I don't know, God has not mentioned this, so I will not affirm it or deny it. But you cannot deny it. To deny it is you think there's something wrong with it, with limb. But there's nothing wrong with limb. Okay, that's the first argument. Now the second argument, as you always know, is the Hadith of Adam, which will show you that they actually affirm limb anyway. So let's go to this place. So you have this Salafi website, Islamic question and answer. Someone asked them, when the Prophet ﷺ says Allah created Adam in his image, what does his image refer to, and how should we understand it? There's an entire, but this is a summary that I gave. The hadith says Adam was created in his image, means that Allah has a face and an eye and a hand and a foot. And Adam has a face, an eye, is it not two eyes? Anyway, an eye, a hand and a foot. Okay. Yet, it does not mean that these things are exactly similar. That's what I'm trying to show you. All you have to do is just add this last part. Just say limb, but not exactly similar. That's what you have to do. That's the first argument anyway. Now, the point I want to show you in this second argument is this. They don't know that they made a huge mistake affirming this hadith. Because once you do, you are saying this hadith, Adam was created in God's image. That means the image of God is Adam's image. That's what it is, if you don't know. So now here's the second argument. Second argument now is this. If you say Adam has a hand, okay, so God has hand, okay. Now Adam has something else. Adam has a limb. So God has a limb. There's no fault in this argument at all. You have to be consistent, because Adam has something, God has it too. Because in Adam's image, there's a limb there. So unless you think there's something wrong with limb, which will go back to the first objection. There's nothing wrong with limb. If you are not scared of hand and the other ones, why are you so what's the scandal about the limb? Do you get? That's what I'm trying to show in this video. The point is that if Adam is made in God's image, Adam image will be equals to God's image. Therefore, if Adam has anything, and they themselves did this, it's not me, I'm not the one that made this what's it called, contrast. They are saying Allah has face, eye, hand, foot, and they said exact same thing about Adam: face, eye, hand, foot. So it's not like I'm the one bringing this up. They are the ones, they already brought it up. In fact, here is some problems with taking that hadith literally that I've been hinting to or hinting at in some of my other videos where I made this claim, is that there is no part of Adam's body that you can deny on any ground, on any basis. And that's why there were some mujassima, clear-cut mujassima, that affirmed that God has every human being body part except I think the private part. Some of them said that. Some of the clear-cut mujassima, they said that. Even them, they don't have any ground to undeny anything. You know, this is already absurd to normal people, that fitrah, okay? But the problem with saying things like this is that you have no argument against any limb. Why are you denying limb? You cannot deny limb when you've literally affirmed it. Adam has a limb, therefore God has a limb. Just like Adam has a hand and God has a hand. Face, God has a face, right? You are the one making that contrast. You cannot then get to limb and then stop. You cannot get to blood or flesh or any other image of Adam and then stop there. You cannot stop. And you don't even have any argument against it anyway from the first one that I just showed you. Anything you can just say unlike ours, or you remain agnostic over it. You cannot have any substantial argument against any of these things. So with these two arguments that I've shown you now, the first one is that unless they are being inconsistent and they think something is wrong with limb, there cannot be anything wrong with limb or even blood. There's nothing wrong with blood. As long as the blood is perfect and all those attributes they ascribe to the way they did with hand, you can use the exact same argument they used to defend hand, to defend hand, to defend the limb or any other body part. You can use those arguments to defend them. And the second argument now shows that with the hadith of Adam, since Adam has a limb, then the limb is part of the image of Adam. Why are you excluding that part? You cannot do that on any grounds that is substantial anyway. So that is the point of this video. And what do you guys think in the comment section? See you guys later. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.